Alright, July 29th. Garden update, zone 3B. Here we go. Tomatoes are just crushing it. Got a couple yellow ones forming back there. I think those are the taxi. Bunch of other Romas. I think they're Romas. Lots of yellow pear tomatoes. Maybe in a week or so some of these will start to turn yellow. I notice here this is called Tasty Treat. They're little cherries. I got a couple there. You know, so the tomatoes are looking good. These cages are really containing them. This one's going above the cage. So what are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-foot cages. So this one's already, you know, damn near 6 feet. I removed a couple cages because they were kind of really getting crowded. And these little volunteer tomatoes that I transplanted, who knows if they're even going to produce. Some of the earlier ones I transplanted are actually looking like they're going to do something. You know, this one's already got flowers on it. These ones. But I'm just focusing on these bigger ones, make sure that they do well. I haven't pruned them a whole lot, just a little bit here and there on the bottoms, and some of the leaves that face inward to try to open up the space inside the cage a little bit. But other than that, I'm just kind of letting them grow wild. As you can see, pretty massive amount of tomatoes, or at least foliage. Carrots are doing really good, and the beets, harvested several already. Some pretty massive beets that I've pulled out already, which is great. Some of them are still pretty small, but that's fine. I'll just pull them as they get big. Peppers are starting to come into their own. Looks like they've overcome all the frost damage, and now they're just growing, putting off lots of flowers. And all the onions are kind of laying down. Nice onion size. There's a lot of bigger ones. I know just a week ago the red onions, they all seemed really small, and I got some bigger ones already. So just we've had a lot of rain. I haven't really had to water much, and these things have probably doubled in size. The white onions are all pretty good sized already. So I'm gonna have just tons of onions today. Some of these transplant peppers, they're never going to amount to much, but hopefully these other ones are going to produce something. Got my red cabbages doing really well. I put out all these dryer sheets because I had an incident on the back trellis there with the deer. Basically, I put out my vacuum canister and sprinkled it everywhere. I put up dryer sheets, as you'll see in the back garden. I put some fencing up, and I ordered a motion detector sprinkler. That will hopefully train the deer not to come around here. Oh, look at that cucumber. Wow, it's looking nice. Yeah, I transferred all the little cucumbers that I had in the back. I knew they weren't really going to do much back there. I transferred them all over here. Hopefully they're really starting to grow just in the past few days. And all these little peppers, I covered them with these plastic buckets because they just weren't really growing. And since I have, man, they've just probably doubled in size. So I'll keep those on there and see what happens. Might be something that I transfer into the house once it gets cold. Oh, man, these damn biting flies are everywhere. And then this little future asparagus bed. The asparagus is really sprouting. The peas and the peppers are doing good in there too. So I'm just letting the asparagus just bloom out, and kind of my second backup of peas. Thank God I planted these too, because the deer just wrecked these other ones, as I'll show you here in a second. Brussel sprouts, cabbage. I got broccoli back here, but who knows what's going to happen with those. I haven't had any luck with broccoli in the past couple of years, so hopefully I get some florets. Kale. Eggplant is doing really good. I think it's a little bit behind, but otherwise I might get some eggplants. Lots of bloom, so, and then more cabbage here. Yeah, and basically here's what happened with this trellis. This is my first year doing a non-rigid trellis. It's just this, I put up rebar and then strung this polyester netting across. And while the deer came in, I noticed earlier they were munching, you know, this left side of it here, and pretty much decimated those first few. Then they came in and started eating these, and well, as they were munching on them, they decided to rip the whole trellis down. So I came home one day and here it was all laying down in the ground. I put up more dryer sheets and put up this other fence just to kind of block it. And so far so good, but we'll see what happens when they come back. And yeah, these cucumbers here must not be getting as much sun, although I do have some cucumbers growing. The ones that I showed earlier, I planted those much later than these, and they seem to be doing a lot better, getting that full sun over there. I doubt I'll use this spot for trellis again. It's just not full sun. It gets a decent amount of sun, but it's not full like the front. Then here my zucchini. Once again, I planted, all these should be yellow zucchini. And it just turns out that it's not. There's only one that's yellow, and the rest are the normal green ones. So I don't know what's up with Johnny Seeds packets, but they're not consistent. My spaghetti squash, acorn squash is all really behind. I mean, this time last year I already had dozens of spaghetti squash and plenty of acorn squash in the vine. Probably the location, this area, first of all, it's in ground. Doesn't get that much sun. And but I do have some good zucchini. You know, there's one there. And I got lucky with the male flowers and female flowers kind of coming off together. So there was good pollination, so hopefully I get some good zucchini all year. And the basil is just tearing it up. Lettuce. Just keep harvesting it, just keeps coming back. So yeah, everything's good to go here. Strawberries are basically done. They're They're shooting out runners now. So I'm guessing that means there might be another phase of production here, but I haven't seen any new strawberries growing in several days. So that might be it for those ones. And then, you know, after planting these flower beds and seeing really how effective the mulching is, I've decided I'm gonna mulch probably every garden bed except for one. I'll keep one bed non-mulched for different sorts of plants. But just the amount of moisture this retains is just incredible. I mean, it's just so wet underneath. I don't think I'll have to water but maybe once a week or less with mulch on my garden beds. So I'll give it a shot and see how it goes, and you know, hopefully in the next video I'll have all my beds mulched. Alright, you take care.